Do you ever find yourself feeling
outraged
by something you have seen or heard? When this happens, a person might say that they feel
outraged
by it. The emotion they feel is
outrage.
The thing they feel
outraged
by is
outrageous.
These days, people seem to become
outraged
by many things. Trivial moments of time are blown out of proportion by generating
outrage
among people. Did you hear the
outrageous
comment that politician made yesterday? It's an
outrage.
Mr. Duncan is talking about
outrage,
which I think is
outrageous.
The word outrage refers to the feeling of anger caused by something that appears offensive, rude, unfair, or upsetting. You feel
outrage.
Are we on? Are we definitely on? Could you just check, please? Could you check the circuits just to make sure we are on? Are we really broadcasting live to the world? I think so. Hi, everybody. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope so. Here we go. It is another live English. A very busy one today. I hope you are prepared. I hope you have settled down in front of your laptop or other mobile device and you are ready for 2 hours. Yes, 2 hours of live English. This is now as live can be. Just to prove it, just to prove how live we are, we did have some technical problems at the start of today's live stream, but now I have sorted it out. Everything is all right. You will not believe how much technology goes into producing this live stream. Would you like to have a look at the technology that I use? Here it is. This is how I broadcast to you every single Sunday. Look at that technology. It is state-of-the-art technology. That is the latest in broadcast equipment, let me tell you. Anyway, we are here, live as live can be. I hope you are well. How was your week? Was your week all right? It's been a very strange week, a sad week for certain reasons. We had a big loss in the world of entertainment. Tom Petty died this week. A great musician, a great songwriter, very much missed already. And of course he had lots of hits during the 1980s, also in the 1970s as well. Tom Petty had a big hit with something called Breakdown. Of course, Tom Petty is also well known for other songs such as American Girl and I Won't Back Down and Free Fallin', which I think is one of my favourite Tom Petty songs. So a bit of a sad week this week. I don't know why. 2017, once again, lots of people, lots of famous people seem to be leaving us. So here we go. It is Sunday the 8th of October. Of course, we are into Dunktober. Can you see the sign behind me? There it is. It says Dunktober because this is a special month for me. At the end of October, I will be celebrating my 11th year. We are approaching 11 years on YouTube. Well, you're not, but I am. So 11 years, can you believe it? I've been here making English video lessons. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me a moment. I'm having a Theresa May moment here. Oh, excuse me. Let me just have a cough, sweet. As I was saying, That's better. As I was saying, it has been a very busy week here because I've been doing all sorts of things. Did anyone see the harvest moon? Did you see it? The harvest moon was out this week, looking very, very bright in the sky during the night. And as a way of celebrating the harvest moon, look what I've done here. No expense has been spared here. Look at this special effect here. So there it is. There is the harvest moon. Look at that. Wow. Never say that Mr. Duncan doesn't have some amazing special effects on his show. Look at that. There is the harvest moon in the sky, shining brightly. Wow. That's amazing. Who needs CGI when you've got some cardboard and a very large torch? So, as a way of celebrating the harvest moon, we have Mr. Steve later on giving some flash phrases and also flash words under the harvest moon. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking, honestly. So Mr. Steve will be here. Lots of Mr. Steve today. For those who don't know who Mr. Steve is, here he is doing his full-time job. He is a professional grinder, as we found out last week. Apparently, that's what Mr. Steve does in his normal occupation. He is a professional grinder. So Mr. Steve will be here today. Some other news to catch up on. We have the Bulls. The Bulls are still alive. You will be pleased to hear that the Bulls are still alive at the back of the garden. Also this morning, you know what? Some mornings you wake up and you feel so lucky to be alive. And this is the view that greeted me this morning when I opened my window. Look at this view. Look at that. So that is actually the view from my bedroom window this morning. That's what I saw when I opened my curtains on this very morning. What a beautiful sunny day. It's quite mild as well. Although last night we had lots of rain, but today the weather looks quite nice. And there it is, the view this morning out of my window. Very scenic indeed. I hope the weather where you are is okay as well. Also the Bulls. We can't forget the Bulls. But how many Bulls are left? Well, now there are 3 Bulls left at the back of my house. There were 10 and then there were 8, but now there are only 3 Bulls left. And there they are, completely unaware that their fate awaits them. So I have a strange feeling that next week the farmer will come to take these bulls away. They will be no more. That's not very nice, is it? So for those who are asking about the Bulls, they are okay, but I don't think they are going to be okay for much longer. I think they will be going very soon. But what will happen to them? I have no idea. A lot of people say that English people or people that live in the UK always complain about things. I think maybe we are a nation of complainers. And there is one thing that people complain about more than anything else. There is one thing that people complain about more here in the UK than anything else. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess which thing drives people crazy? I will tell you in a few moments. Also, I've had a message come through asking, what does Mr. Steve do after the live stream ends? What does Mr. Steve do after the live stream ends? Would you like to see what Mr. Steve does normally? So here is Mr. Steve. This is what he normally does at the end of every live stream.
Have a lovely week, everyone, and I'll see you next week, Mr. Duncan.
I will see you next week, Mr. Steve.
What can I take with me? I've got to take something with me. Yes. This looks expensive.
Oh, it is.
I'm going to take this with me. It's mine. Bye.
Bye, Mr. Steve.
Oh, what a busy hour. Oh, nowhere to sit. Oh, so tired. Oh.
It's time to relax yourself, Mr. Steve. Just lie back and relieve your stress and strain, Mr. Steve. You've had a busy day, so to ease those aches away, relax and take a rest, Mr. Steve. It's time to have a dream, Mr. Steve. After such a busy live stream, so lie back and recline. Everything will be just fine, because you've had a busy day, Mr. Steve. Yes, you've had a busy day. Now it's time to float away. Yes, you've had a busy day, Mr. Steve. Sweet dreams, Mr. Steve.
Here we go. It is Sunday. Hello, if you've just joined me, my name is Duncan and I teach English on YouTube. So now we know the secret. What Mr. Steve does after every live stream, he goes and has a rest. You must rest yourself, Mr. Steve. And Mr. Steve will be here today. He will be here today. The live stream is on, and also the live chat is also up and running. I must say hello to some people now, or else they will get very angry. They will say, "Here, Mr. Duncan, why aren't you saying hello to us? We're here and we are saying hello to you, but you are ignoring us." So I will not ignore you any longer. I will not ignore you anymore. I will now say hello to Najuan Vu, who is first today on the live chat. Hello to you. Hello Sun is also here. Ibrahim is watching in Saudi Arabia. Hello to you. Analytic Brain is also here. Also Marcelo from Brazil. Hello Marcelo, thanks for joining me. Ming Najuan is here as well. Lemon Tree. Hello Lemon Tree. Nice to see you back again. I haven't seen you for a long time. Hello, Mr. Duncan. T.S. Tia is here as well. Also, Olga. Hello, Olga. Nice to see you again. Thanks for joining me today. So what is it? What is the thing that people complain about the most here in the UK? Well, I will show you right now. This is what people really get angry about here in the UK. Potholes. They are holes that appear in the road. Now you can see here this morning the lovely Shropshire Council have been and they have filled in 2 of the very large potholes that have been annoying many of the drivers around the area in which I live. So this is something I filmed this morning. I actually went out to walk down the road and film this or these 2 potholes. So now they have been filled in. Thank you very much to Shropshire Council. Thank you so much for coming and making our journey a little bit smoother by filling in the potholes. Isn't that nice? Shall we have a look at some more potholes? Here is another one. Come on, where's the other pothole? There is another one. Honestly, it's coming in a minute. There it is. There's the other pothole. Now, what I like about the potholes is before they fill them in, they draw big circles around them. So the people that come along to repair them can see them. I love that. So there is another one. There is another pothole that has been repaired. So that's one thing that really does annoy people living in the UK. Do you have potholes where you are? Do you have large holes in your roads? Apparently, if the government here in the UK were to repair all of the potholes, it would cost billions, apparently. Not millions, but billions. Can you believe it? That's very expensive. So if they wanted to actually fill all of the potholes in here in the UK, it would cost billions of pounds. I can't believe it. Yes You Can is here. Hello, Yes You Can. By the way, do you have potholes where you live? Are there large holes in your roads? Yes You Can says, hello teacher, how are you? I am sending you a greeting from Somalia. Hello to you and thank you very much for joining me today. Andrew is here. Hello Andrew. Andrew Maloy Chikov is here. Thank you very much for saying hello to me today. David is here. Hello David. Such a long time I could not watch your live streams, but now I am here. I am back again. Thank you, David, for returning to say hello to me. Isn't that nice? That's really nice, I must admit. I'm very, very touched by that. Sammy is here. Hello, Mr. Duncan. It's nice to see you again. Lots of people joining me after taking a break from my live streams. Thank you for rejoining me. Thanks for coming back. English with Zara is here. Hello, English with Zara. Are you an English teacher as well? Would you like to see something really cute and lovely? Here's something I found this morning on my Instagram. Would you like to see something really cute and lovely? Oh, this is so nice. Look, can you see? Can you see there on my mobile phone? On my mobile phone, you can see some baby turtles. Aren't they lovely? So that's a post that I found this morning from one of my Instagram friends. In fact, let's have a look. Who is it? My Instagram friend is, because I think I must give him a credit, because this is a lovely bit of video. Fazal, who I believe lives in Penang in Malaysia. So thank you, Fazal, for sending me that lovely little video clip of all of the baby turtles. Isn't that great? Oh, as you know, I love nature very much. Shall we have a look at a clip from one of my special October lessons that I made way back in 2013? And I called these lessons my special Dunktober Dunktober lessons. So instead of October, I said Dunktober. So let's have a look at one of my Dunktober lessons, which was made on this day, this actual day in 2013. 31 days of Dunktober, day 8. Hi everybody, welcome and good morning. Here we are, it's day 8 of 31 days of Dunktober. And here I am, right back where I started last Tuesday, sitting at my breakfast table, having some breakfast. I've got my cereal, I have my cup of tea, I have some milk to go with my tea, I have my spread cheese, I have my toast in the kitchen. It's still in the toaster, toasting. That's what a toaster does, you see. It toasts. It likes to toast. Toast. Could everybody stop saying toast? So here we are again. The week is definitely underway now. Thank you very much for all of your kind comments over the weekend. And once again, a big apology for the terrible subtitling that I did at the weekend. I'm very sorry about that. As I said before, I fell asleep. But today I feel very, what's the word? Alive. I feel invigorated. I feel full of beans. I'm often asked if I like technology. You know, those modern gadgets and gizmos we all seem to have in our bags and pockets these days. If there is one thing I have learned about video making and being a presence on the internet, it's that you need to stay up to date with all the technological changes. The big thing now, of course, is smart mobile tech. From the sophisticated smartphones right up to the very latest tablet devices. If you are using the net to view or produce, you need to be tech savvy. The word savvy means to be familiar and competent with something. To have knowledge and know-how means you are savvy. Welcome to the nerve centre of Hat for Rent Productions. Here I am surrounded by my gizmos. This is my editing suite. This is where all the editing takes place. I spend many hours sitting in this chair, believe you me. I have my tablet device here. I use this mainly for script writing, and also I use it as an auto cue. It's very useful for that particular purpose. And I also have my little smartphone here. This is also very useful. I use it a lot for taking photographs if I'm out and about and I have no big camera with me. I use my mobile phone. I do not usually update my devices. If they are still adequately performing the tasks I require, then I am happy with them. The only complaint I have about modern gadgets and tech is that they seem to go out of date too quickly. You buy a device and then a few months later a new version comes out. In these fast-moving times, a new device becomes old and obsolete very rapidly. Despite this slight niggle, I would never criticise modern technology. After all, without it, I would not be here talking to you now. That is all from me for today, for sure. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of it, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. This is Mr. Duncan on day 8 of 31 days of Dunktober, saying thank you for watching me, and of course, Ta-ta for now. And there it was, one of my Dunktober lessons from 2013. Now what I did, I actually made a new English lesson every single day. So actually I made 31 new lessons every single day. A new lesson appeared on my YouTube channel. Way before I started doing my live lessons. Don't forget, I only started doing the live streams last year. But since 2006, I have been here teaching you and teaching the world with all of my lessons. And don't forget, you can find my lessons underneath this video. All of the playlists are available under this video. So don't worry. Everything that I've made over the past 11 years is right under this video. Live chat is very busy today. Oh, hello everyone. Adrias or Aridas. Mr. Duncan, is Theresa May going to come over? Will she be driving on the road? Oh, do you mean the one that was repaired? I'm not sure about that. I doubt it very much. I think at the moment Theresa May has lots of problems, including her throat. Did you see the speech that she gave the other day? She couldn't stop coughing. There's nothing worse than having a cold when you are trying to do something. Imagine the feeling of standing up in front of hundreds, thousands of people, and then you have millions of people watching on television as well. Can you believe it? Can you imagine what it must be like? The pressure. It must be terrible. We have the mystery idioms coming now. Would you like to have a look at today's mystery idioms? We have 2 mystery idioms for you to look at, and here they are. Here is the first one. So these are well-known expressions in English, and all you have to do is guess what they are. Guess what the expressions are. So there is the first one. If you think you know what it is, please let me know. And here is the second mystery idiom. There it is. But what is it? What is it? And here is the first one. Once again, just to give you a helping hand, these are well-known English expressions. But what are they? I will give you the answers to those later on. So please don't go away. I hope you will stick around because we have lots of things still to come, including one of Mr. Steve's flash phrases. We are now going to have a flash phrase. And this is something very unusual because Mr. Steve was actually filmed outside at night. I've never done it before. I've never ever filmed anything ever on my YouTube channel. In all of the 11 years that I've been here, never done it. So here is a flash phrase from Mr. Steve. Standing under the harvest moon.
Slip of the tongue. Slip of the tongue is an English phrase. The phrase slip of the tongue means to say something incorrectly or to say something you didn't mean to. An accidental comment made without warning is a slip of the tongue. For example, I did not intend to mention politics today. It was just a slip of the tongue. My mispronunciation was just a slip of the tongue. I didn't mean to say that. It was just a slip of the tongue. We can also use the phrase slip of the pen, which is a slight error made whilst writing. Slip of the tongue.
There he is, under the harvest moon. It's Mr. Steve. Another flash. Oh, I think actually later we're going to have a flash word later on. Another one from Mr. Steve, filmed under the harvest moon. I have a mystery that needs solving, and perhaps you can help me. here is something that I found the other day in the house. Now, this is something that obviously I've put in a safe place. So I found this the other day. This is something that would appear to be a piece of my house. So I think this is something from my house, but I have no idea what it is or where it's come from. But I have a feeling that I've put it somewhere to make sure that it doesn't get lost. But now I can't remember what it is. I have no idea what this is or where it belongs. So perhaps you could help me. Maybe you could guess where this is from in my house, because I have no idea. You know what happens sometimes? Sometimes you want to put something in a safe place so it doesn't get lost or mislaid. And that's what's happened here. So this is something that appears to be a part of my house. A little part of the structure of my house. But I have no idea where it came from or where it belongs. So there it is, a little piece of my house. But what is it and where does it belong? Because I have no idea. Maybe later I will ask Mr. Steve to see if he knows where it came from. Talking of Mr. Steve, later on we have 5 signs that you are in a long-term relationship. You know what it's like. You meet someone, you fall in love, and then maybe you see each other on a regular basis for a few months. But when do you know that you actually have a long-term relationship? How do you know? What are the signs? So today I'm going to give you 5 signs, 5 indications that you are in a long-term relationship. All of that coming later on. Also, we are going to play a new game. I think this will catch on. I think tomorrow people all around the world will be playing this game. We are going to guess the facial expression. So expression just means to convey meaning or emotion. So if you want to give across or to transmit emotion, you can speak. That is one way of doing it. But also you can use your face as well. So you can have expressions in writing and also expressions on the face. So a little bit later on with Mr. Steve, we are going to play Guess the Facial Expression. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Back to the live chat. We were talking about potholes earlier, and I'm very pleased to announce that the potholes near my house have been repaired. So thank you very much once again to Shropshire Council for coming along and repairing the potholes. People in the UK haven't seen real potholes in Russia. Apparently, according to Olga, the potholes in Russia are much worse than the ones in the UK. Is that true, Olga? Ah, I see. I've never been to Russia, so I'm not sure. Perhaps you could send me a photograph of a pothole. So if you have any potholes near your house, maybe you can go out now and take a photo and maybe send it to me so I can have a look. But we do have a big problem here in the UK with potholes. Holes that appear in the road. So normally damage caused by heavy vehicles. And also in the winter as well. So when it gets very cold, sometimes the road will crack and break, and then a pothole will form. Claudio is here. Hello, Claudio, watching in Italy. I have no idea where this came from. Does anyone know? It looks a little bit like a moustache. I don't think it is a moustache. It looks like one though. It looks like a moustache from the silent movie era. Or maybe a bat. It looks a little bit like a bat. But it isn't. It is a piece of my house. But I have no idea where it came from. Or where it belongs. Mr. Duncan, good afternoon. Attila is here. Hello, Attila. Thanks for joining me today. Chiambi71 says, Dear Mr. Duncan, if you were living here in Rome, you would be more than shocked at the thousands of potholes in Rome. And the excuse by the government is that Rome is empty underneath. Apparently there is a big hole underneath Rome. I'm not sure how true that is. I will have to take your word for it, Chiambi. And thank you very much for joining me this week on Instagram. Thank you, Chiambi. I did see you. I saw your message. Thank you very much. Hafiz is here watching in Sudan. Also, Mitra is here as well. How's it going, Mr. Duncan? I'm okay. I'm not too bad today. Although, you may have noticed on YouTube, there is a lot of censorship taking place now. And can you believe it? YouTube have actually censored me. Can you see? Can you see what's happened? Apparently, 2 weeks ago, someone could see my nipples. And they complained to YouTube. They actually complained to YouTube about my nipples. So YouTube have told me that I have to censor my nipples. What's the world coming to? What's going on? It's going crazy. Caroline is here. Oh, Mr. Duncan, what lovely turtles. They were, weren't they? Weren't they cute? I love baby turtles. They are so cute. Matthew Boone is watching. Hello, Matthew. Mr. Duncan, the UK government has better things to do, such as talking about Brexit. And also Theresa May. I must admit, I did feel a little bit sorry. I felt a little sorry for Theresa May the other day because she was coughing during her big speech. And there's nothing worse than having a terrible cough. It is very embarrassing. Fortunately, it's never happened to me. Not yet, anyway. Abdullah is here. How is it going, Mr. Duncan? It's going okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Duncan, I just wanted to say, have you ever decided to visit a place in Italy? I've never thought of going to Italy, but maybe one day, who knows? It is a very beautiful place and very romantic. Talking of romance, how do you know when you are in a long-term relationship? When we say long-term, it means something that is going to go on for a very long time. So maybe two people, they get together and they go out on dates and then they get to know each other. But how do you know that that relationship is now long term? I will give you 5 signs later on. Tia says slip of the tongue. Slip of the tongue. If we don't speak or write properly or we make a mistake, there could be a slip of the finger. Ah, that's very good. Yes, that's very good. Thank you, Tia. So you can have a slip of the tongue. You can also have a slip of the pen. And of course, nowadays, because lots of people type using the computer, so you could have slip of the finger if you make a spelling mistake. I like that. Well done. I like it. I'm going to write that down. Julie G is here. Mr. Duncan, I think your part of the house might be from the eaves. The eaves. The eaves is the part of the roof that goes down like that. Eaves. And round the edge. The eaves. I don't know. I have no idea where this came from. All I know is that I've kept this in a safe place. But now I can't remember where it goes. It's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. I have the piece, but I don't have the rest of the puzzle. I don't know where it belongs. Mr. Duncan, if you want to see lots of potholes, you must come to Vietnam, says Hang Nguyen. Apparently, this is not me saying it, But Hang Nguyen says, in Vietnam there are lots of potholes. I'm not sure about that. I will have to take your word on it. Would you like to have a look at an excerpt from one of my full English lessons? I think you would. My full English lessons contain lots of information about English words. And now we are going to have a look at one of those lessons. Hi everybody, my name is Mr. Duncan and I'm over the moon to be here again with another full English lesson. In fact, this is full English number 10. Oh my giddy aunt, who would have thought it? Well, I would for a start, because I believe I can do it! Just as you should with your English studies. Don't worry, there is plenty of success for everyone. I thought today I would dress smartly for the intro, so I have spruced myself up. What do you think? Do you like it? Would you like me to give you a twirl? Okay, here we go. La 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 la. Not the bald spot. Okay, that's the intro. Let's get on with today's full English lesson right now. Would you describe yourself as a stickler? A person who is a stickler is someone who insists on something being done to a particular standard. They are often very well organised in their daily life. They aim to do things at a certain level. A fussy person might be described as a stickler if they go to extremes to gain perfection and order. To expect others to meet your high standards might mean that people will see you as a stickler. My boss is a stickler for punctuality. A person whose life is very ordered and well organised might be described as a stickler. To expect a certain degree of quality or type of behaviour is to be a stickler. He is a stickler for accuracy. They say that grammar is the hardest part of learning English. It is not just the rules of grammar that many people find confusing, but the actual memorising of them all. There are some tricks to remembering certain grammar rules. A common mistake in spelling is the confusion between the placing of the letter I and the letter E in words. To help you remember, try learning this phrase. I before E, except after C. Other simple tags include ing ends a doing word, or is used as a gerund when a noun is heard. General grammar rules can be learnt through the following poem. A noun's a person's place or thing, or sometimes even times, like spring. A verb tells what the subject does, like jumps or fishes, is or was. An adjective describes a noun, like happy, ugly, rich or brown. An adverb tells you how or when, like quietly or well or when. A pronoun takes the noun's own place, like they for children, she for Grace. A preposition leads a noun. In bed, at sea, or to the town. Conjunctions are a bridge across. Two sentences, but, and, because. The interjections, last of all, like oh and ouch, are very small. Do you have an affinity with something? Is there something or someone you have an affinity with? The word affinity means a natural liking for or an understanding of something. A natural connection means that you do not have to force yourself to do it. The connection or understanding comes naturally. For example, to have an affinity with numbers means that you are naturally good at arithmetic. A relationship can form from the affinity between two people. They get along together naturally, without the need to force themselves. Long-term friendships and relationships are often built on a mutual affinity. To have an affinity can also mean a connection between things with similar characteristics. When two things relate, they have an affinity. The affinity shared between animals, plants, places, and languages. It's time to take a look at another current buzzword. A buzzword is a phrase or sentence that is used frequently or often. Today's buzzword is engage or engagement. The word engage is used a lot these days to express the interest or attention given by those watching or viewing something. To engage with someone is to connect with them so as to get their attention, interest or involvement. If you engage with a person, then they are more likely to stay with you. A television program must engage with a person, or else they will stop watching. Movie makers, politicians, newspaper editors all try to keep people interested and involved by trying to engage with those they wish to connect with. Engagement is the action of connecting with something. TV producers are finding it harder to engage with their audience. Politicians need to engage more with the young. There it is. I hope you enjoyed that. An excerpt from one of my full English lessons. And that was taken from, I think it was taken from Full English number 10. We might have more from that lesson a little bit later on if we have time, because you know what's coming very soon, very shortly. Of course, Mr. Steve is here once again, sharing his wisdom and knowledge. Although this week he's not very happy. We're going to find out a little bit later on why Mr. Steve is not happy. In around about 5 minutes, all will be revealed. Also, we have 5 signs that you are in a long-term relationship. 5 things that mean that your relationship will probably go on for a very long time. Perhaps you have become very familiar with each other. So that's coming up. Also, we are going to play a new game. A new game. Yes, how about a new game called Guess the Facial Expression. So I'm going to show Mr. Steve some pictures of me pulling faces. So I will be pulling some facial expressions and Mr. Steve has to guess what the emotion is. All of that coming very, very shortly. Back to the live chat. I know it's terrible. Can you believe I'm being censored? Apparently, this t-shirt is very tight and sometimes you can see my nipples. So YouTube has told me that I've got to cover my nipples up. So that's the reason why my shirt looks like this. It's all of the censorship. It's gone crazy around here, I tell you. It's gone absolutely crazy. Mr. Duncan, we think your mystery object from your house, I have no idea what this is, by the way. There isn't an answer to this. I don't have an answer to this question. I just have a piece of my house. There it is. But I have no idea where it's come from. I don't know where it belongs. So I have been asking you to help me find where this belongs. I want to know where to put it. Can you tell me where to stick it? Magister says, hello, I'm watching in Mexico. Oh, hello there. I happen to have a lot of viewers in Mexico. Also this week, I've noticed that I have quite a few new viewers in the United States. It might seem strange that I have a lot of people watching in the USA, but in fact I do. And this week, there has been a big increase in the number of people watching in the United States of America. So a big hello to the USA, and also hello to my loyal viewers watching in Mexico as well. We are coming up to 3 o'clock. I don't know about you, but I'm really, really excited because Mr. Steve will be here. Do you know why I always get excited? Because I never know what Mr. Steve is going to do. He might be planning something really amazing this week. I have a feeling that he's going to be dressed up as a large panda. I think so. I'm not sure. But I have a strange feeling that Mr. Steve this week is going to be dressed as a large panda. So please stay tuned for that. Wow. Also, we have the mystery idioms. Here is the first one for those who missed it earlier. And, of course, we normally have 2 mystery idioms. And here is the second one, just for you as well. So there they are, 2 mystery idioms. But what are they? If you think you know, please let me know through the live chat. Lots of people today. Lots of people on the live chat. Waled. Can I say a big hello to Waled Zaki, who is watching? You are a great man. Thank you very much. I'm very, very touched by your comment. Where exactly did you find this piece of your house? I don't know. I can't remember. All I remember is that I put this in a safe place, somewhere where it wouldn't get lost. But now I can't remember where it came from. Maybe Mr. Steve will know. Perhaps I will ask Mr. Steve, because Mr. Steve, of course, is the fountain of all knowledge. Would you like Mr. Steve to come now? Would you like him? Would you like Mr. Steve to be here? Here he is. No, not yet. Oh, Mr. Steve can't wait. He's very excited today. I don't know why. So here he is. He is doing. I'm sure Mr. Steve is going to do something really crazy and wacky and outrageous. It's Mr. Steve, everyone. He is now on camera. Mr. Steve, what are you going to do today which is really, really crazy and wacky and outrageous?
I couldn't think of anything today. Sorry. Were you expecting me to do something wild and wacky? Is that what you just said?
Oh, okay.
No. Oh, well, after last week's grinder, I thought, well, nothing can top that. So I will just stand here and do... Oh, hang on. How about that?
That's very wacky. That's very crazy.
Like that?
You look like
sunglasses.
You look like you are.
Put them up there like that to look even more stylish.
Okay, calm down, calm down.
Oh, shall I do the 80s thing?
Do the 80s thing. That was too quick.
80s.
Do it again.
It's the 80s. We do that with the glasses.
If you watch any music video from the 1980s, there is always someone wearing sunglasses, and they will always pull them down and peer above them.
I've just done it.
So there it is, Mr. Steve proving that all 80s videos, pop videos, that there was at least one shot of someone wearing sunglasses and looking over them like that.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, hello, Mr. Steve.
Hello, Mr. Duncan, and thank you for inviting me back.
Did I?
Actually, I was so worried about missing my cue after last week. I've just been here in your studio all week. I haven't moved. I've just been waiting for this moment to arrive. I didn't go anywhere. I was just in the corner. Didn't you see me?
That explains the dust on your head.
And the smell in your studio.
There is actually, yes, there is a strange smell in here. Now, I know the reason why it smells in here, because you may have noticed, let's just have the long shot, the wide shot. You may have noticed last week I actually put leaves all around the studio, so there are lots of leaves from my garden. And I've noticed this week they are all starting to rot and smell. So the inside of my studio now smells like a compost heap. So, and the reason is because I've got lots of real leaves.
Well,
and now they are rotting away on the floor.
Well, clearly, there's lots of creatures that have invaded your studio, thinking they're in the middle of a forest. Because can anybody see what I've got now? Because every week, Mr. Duncan, I keep complaining about this plain studio, this backdrop. I've got nothing. There's some leaves. You put those in the other week, but I've got nothing else. But I've just noticed a new addition. I don't know if that was there last week, but I don't remember it.
It wasn't there last week. I put it there today. I'm so pleased you noticed.
I've spotted it. A metal owl.
Oh,
There we go.
Sorry, a mental owl.
Metal.
Oh, I thought you said
It's,
mental.
I think it's made of iron. Anyway, it's quite nice. Does its head go round? No.
No,
Owls' heads usually go all the way round.
it might come off.
I'll put it back before I break it. It looks very expensive, by the way.
See, I don't think there's anything wrong with that back. I think your backdrop is lovely. It's lovely in green. It's very environmental. And also you have those lovely autumn leaves. There's nothing wrong with your backdrop.
It just looks a bit... It looks a bit drab and a bit sort of disorganised over here.
And there's a clock as well.
There's a clock. Oh, yes, and I forgot to mention last week. This wonderful drawing, and you had one too by the same person, and I just want to thank whoever that was. Do you know the name of the person? Can you remember? But whoever
I can't remember now. I know it's someone watching in Russia.
Thank you very much. I think it just encapsulates my bald head
It what?
perfectly.
It what?
Encapsulates.
Encapsulates.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It shows up exactly what it looks like. It just gives a very good depiction of what I look like. That encapsulates my character, I
So
think.
it captures all of your real features. So it's a very
Yes.
good representation of Mr. Steve. I see.
Representation, yes. And you had one as well, and that was... in fact, have you shown you had one in the week from somebody else?
No,
Have you shown that one, Mr. Duncan?
I haven't shown that one. I haven't because I haven't made a copy of it. Unfortunately, I didn't have time because I was so busy today.
It's very funny. Somebody sent you a caricature of yourself.
Okay.
And it was extremely funny.
Calm
And
down.
I burst out laughing, but you were crying.
It isn't. It's a lovely representation. It's lovely.
Maybe
Now,
we'll show that next week.
today we are talking first of all about relationships. I thought it would be fun to talk about the things that show that you are in a long-term relationship. Now, I think starting a new relationship is very difficult. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world when you meet someone and then you get to know them. But normally, both parties, both members, both halves of the relationship tend to hide things from each other. Would you say that's true?
Hide their faults, their little strange mannerisms that might put them off.
Their foibles.
Their foibles,
I
yes.
love that word, by the way, foibles.
You're always on your best behaviour in the first few dates, maybe even the first few years. Well, at least until you got married, and then you can just let it all go. It's too late then. They're married to you then. You can just become a complete slob.
So when you start a new relationship, you are normally on your best behaviour. But of course,
Yes.
over time, things begin to change. So today I'm going to give you 5 things, and I want you to see what you think of these, Mr. Steve, and also you watching out there as well in YouTube land. What do you think? Am I right? So here we go. So first of all, the first sign that you are in a long-term relationship, that the relationship is serious,
Right?
not closing the bathroom door. I think that's a good one. So you start to do things more openly. So when you go to the toilet, maybe for a wee, instead of locking the door, closing the door and locking it, you leave the door open and you just go la 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 la. It doesn't matter. We are in a long-term relationship.
Don't think that would go down too well with me. I don't think you want to see. I don't think you should ever let your partner see you. Let's say eliminating waste products from your body.
You said that the other week.
Did I?
You said that eliminating waste products.
Yes. I don't think you ever want. You always want your partner to see you as somebody who is attractive. So if you see somebody crouched over a toilet, that might affect the bedroom relationship.
They're crouched over the toilet. How do you go to the toilet? You don't crouch over the toilet, do you?
You've always got to give that illusion that you don't, in fact, go to the toilet at all.
Yes, it's a little bit like a fairy tale, isn't it? When two people first meet and they fall in love, it's a bit like a fairy tale. Everything is perfect. Everything is wonderful. But then over time, as the relationship goes on and on, things start to change.
I think you need to go into that bathroom. Your partner knows you've gone in there, but you don't want to reveal anything that's happened in there. You go in there perfect, you come out perfect. Nothing unsavoury has happened that could make you less attractive to your partner. It's all just wonderful. You come out smelling of roses.
Oh, dear me. Anyway, number two. I think this is one that a lot of people can relate to, I think. Sharing that special moment that means that you are in a long-term relationship. You are sharing. Can you guess what it is, Mr. Steve?
Is it related to the last one?
Maybe before the last one.
Is it when you're constantly talking about going to the toilet?
No, not that one.
Okay.
No. It is the first time you share a fart.
Right. Okay.
I think that's it. That is one of the boundaries. That's the moment where you know that your relationship is now real. It's a real relationship. It's not just fantasy. It's a real relationship. You actually
openly breaking wind in front of your partner.
I think so. I think that is a very big sign, a good sign that you are in a long-term relationship. You no longer have to hide your farts. Do you think that's true?
Is that sort of just in a room, or are you on about in the bed as well?
Do you know what I think, Mr. Steve? I think that Hallmark cards are missing out on a great opportunity to make more money. So you could have the anniversary of meeting someone, but also you could have a special card that you send to a loving couple when they share their first fart. I think so. You could call it Happy Fartiversary or something like that. So it's a year. You could say, it's a year since we shared our first fart. A year already? Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so pleased for you. You could buy little gifts. What do you think? Is that a good idea?
No. I don't think that's a good... Just, in a word, no.
I think Hallmark cards are missing out on making a lot of money there. I think so.
Well, Hallmark, I think they're an American company. I heard you saying that you've got lots of American viewers today. Maybe that card already exists.
Who knows?
Although I very much doubt it.
Who knows? There might be a fart anniversary card. The first time you farted in front of your partner. A very special moment. It brings you closer together, I think. I really do.
We should move on from this particular subject.
Okay, then let's go to something less unsavoury. Number 3, this is a sign that you are in a long-term relationship. You both go together. Don't forget, together. You go together to the chemist to buy your ointment and cream. So you go to the chemist together to buy your medicine or the things that you put on your body in various places.
Or even reveal that you've got medicine in the first place.
Yes, because it's a very personal thing. I mean, some people have like this. Look at this. This is something for fungus. Fungus. Guess where I found this? Guess where I found this in Mr. Steve's medicine cabinet.
I can't even see what it is from here. No, I've got no monitor. I can't see a
maybe
thing.
it isn't Mr. Steve's. Maybe it's the previous owner of the house. Maybe they left it here.
Maybe
Who
it's
knows?
yours, Mr. Duncan, and you're pretending it's mine. Is there a name on it?
No, there's no name on it.
Fungus.
Who wants fungus? So
You don't want that in a relationship.
I think definitely. I think that does bring you closer when you can go to the chemist together to buy your ointment. I love that word, by the way, ointment.
I think in a relationship, I think sometimes if you reveal that you've got some kind of chronic long-term problem, sometimes that actually makes the other person feel sorry for you and may bring you closer together. So yes, if you say, I've got this problem, and then you recount this long story of all the pain that you've gone through over many years with this condition, that can actually, make the other partner feel sorry for you and actually warm to you.
Bring you together.
It can, yes.
So sometimes in a relationship, you can share your problems.
Because some people want to look after other people. So if you're sick and ill, that other person might be attracted to you because you've got an illness. That can sometimes happen.
I see. Okay, then. Okay, number 4. This is something you almost mentioned earlier.
Right.
Talking about your latest bowel movement. So you go to the toilet, then you can't wait to tell your partner about it. Or you openly discuss what you did yesterday or last night. I went to the toilet last night. Oh, it was amazing. And you're sharing this with your partner. I think that's a very good sign that you are in a long-term relationship.
When you're talking about your bowel habits and the fact that you maybe haven't been for a couple of days and you really want to, and you're constantly talking about it. Yes, that does happen. I've been in a relationship like that. Didn't last very long, but there you go.
And
no,
finally,
I don't agree. I think it desexualizes your partner. If you're constantly talking about your bowel habits, going to the loo.
So you mean it makes them
creams.
less attractive?
I think so.
Less attractive, I see.
I think so.
T.S. Tia has just asked, why does Mr. Steve look so unhappy today?
Unhappy?
Well, you have had a difficult week. I mean, on a serious note, we must talk seriously now. You have had a difficult week.
Well, financially, let's just say I'm several £100s worse off this week as a result of my car.
Something went wrong with Mr. Steve's car. Mr. Steve's car,
more than one thing,
became very unwell.
Started making a loud noise. I knew instantly that it was something to do with the exhaust. Years of experience in dealing with car matters. I knew that sound was a blown exhaust.
You knew that your car was about to fall to pieces.
What I didn't realise is that it also needed some new engine mounts as well that had caused the problem in the first place. Let's put it this way.
Nobody cares.
Pardon?
Nobody cares about your engine mounts, by the way. We just want to.
I just threw that in there.
All we want to hear is your misery. How miserable were you?
I was, well, put it this way, it was sort of a double-edged sword. There's a word for you. A double-edged sword.
A word?
Double-edged
that's a sentence.
Sword. Got to say that correctly.
A double-edged sword is a sentence.
Yeah, so that was bad news, but also good news on the flip side. In that the car is now a lot better. Because
yes.
It's been
we went yesterday. We went for a big drive yesterday. We went to a party yesterday, didn't we? And we went for a big drive, and the car, it sounds new. So
it sounds like a brand new car.
Whatever those guys did at the garage, they did an amazing.
They did an amazing job, but it cost me £800 or $1,000, somewhere like that in that region. lot of money. Mind you, it's cost me nothing in 8 years. I've done 160,000 miles, which is approximately how many kilometres times of 1.61? About 260,000 kilometres in 8 years. That's a lot of miles, if anybody does any driving out there. And it's cost me nothing in that time. Nothing has ever gone wrong, so I can't complain. Mr. Duncan's asleep, which means I've got to do the rest of the show all on my own. I have no idea what to do.
Are you okay? How many coffees have you had today?
Only 6 in the last hour.
I think so. You seem very excited, but you weren't very happy a couple of days ago when you thought your car was about to fall to pieces. But I'm glad to see that you look happier today. But we tested the car yesterday, didn't we? We drove for nearly 200 miles yesterday, didn't we?
A long way to this party, a long way.
And I got to see a lady breastfeed her baby. It was amazing. It was such a wonderful moment and so unexpected. I didn't expect to see that yesterday. So there I was sitting down. A young lady comes, sit next to me. She sat next to me with her baby and then just...
Didn't know you. You'd never met before.
There it was. It was all there for me to see. I wasn't really looking. I was looking straight ahead. I was trying to focus on something else, but I knew that something was going on. I could hear the sounds, a sort of... I thought, okay. So I just got up and walked out the room. But it was a very interesting moment.
It's what we have in the UK now. You just breastfeed whenever you like. Doesn't matter. I don't know about other countries. What the protocol is, what the norm is in other countries. If a woman has her lovely baby, and the baby needs a bit of feeding, can you just on a bus and on a train anywhere in the UK? It's just perfectly all right now to do. I'm not going to say one way or the other.
Well, I know one thing, Steve. Steve, I know one thing. You can't do it on YouTube because they won't even let me show my nipples on YouTube. You can't even see my nipples. So I don't know how a lady breastfeeding her baby is going to be able to do that on YouTube. Well, but I was a little bit surprised yesterday when she did it without telling me. It was just whoop.
At least a warning would have been appropriate. You'd never met her before, because you go to a party, you've never met people before. The last thing you expect to see is somebody just breastfeeding.
I was slightly surprised. Anyway, we tested the car yesterday.
Upset a lot of women by saying that. But there you go.
My viewers would never ever get upset with me. They know the score. They know what this is. You know what this is. Of course. It's live English on a Sunday afternoon with Mr. Duncan, that's me, and Mr. Steve as well. Mr. Steve is here as well.
Anything can happen.
Anything. So number 5. This is number 5. We are counting up or counting down, depending on which way you want to stand or look at this. Showing your ugly side. Showing your anger or your temper. Expressing yourself in a very genuine way when you get annoyed. Because when you first meet someone, you tend to... It's a bit like acting, really, isn't it? I think it's like an act.
It's an act.
So when you first meet someone, you are always on your best behaviour. Oh, hello. Oh, isn't this nice? Oh, shall we go to the movies tonight? Did you like that movie? I really did like it. I like Adam Sandler. But you're thinking, I hate Adam Sandler. I think he's crap. But you say, oh yes, I like Adam Sandler as well. So you pretend because the relationship is new. It's a new relationship. So you act, you pretend. Yes. But of course, a year later, you can actually reveal to your partner, if you are still with them, that you hate Adam Sandler. You can't stand him.
When you've got them hooked. You can start behaving more normally.
That's it. You've got to lure them. You've got to lure them into your web, and then once you have them, you can just be yourself.
But maybe you should just be yourself right from the off, right from the get-go, you should just be yourself, because, and warts and all, as the expression goes,
Warts.
just show them all the bad bits of you straight away, and mind you, and then they might just love you for who you are. The risk is, of course, and I've got a friend who's like this, we won't mention their name,
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
is that they show all their bad behaviours all the time. And
Steve,
Yes.
whoa, just wait a minute. I'm trying to get in there. If you think that £800 for your car repair is bad, wait until you are sued for defamation of character.
well, I haven't mentioned anyone's name. And nor will
I know who you're on about.
You do, but as long as you don't say it, then we're safe.
Okay, then. So I won't say...
You won't say about this person who insists on being themselves, and this is a genuine person I know. They insist on being themselves on every date. I'm not going to cover anything up. I'm just going to be myself. And hey presto, 50 years later, they're still on their own.
There's one thing I've noticed. You are being yourself today, definitely. So is this friend of yours still single?
Yes, that's what I just said. He's still single after
Yeah.
all these years,
Okay,
because no woman can put up with his strange behaviours.
Okay.
So yes, maybe cover up all your bad traits, get married, and then it's too late.
Okay, we've got some controversy going on here.
Controversy. Is it
okay.
breastfeeding
Yeah, well,
in public?
I might be able to tell you in a second. Apparently I'm being racist, saying that a mother can't feed their child with her breast. I've got no problem with that, and it isn't racist. I think you mean sexist. It's very
Sexist.
different.
Misogynist.
Yes, so no, I have no problem with it. It's just when it's done by surprise. It's just like you're sitting there at a party, and then suddenly it's all going on next to you, and you're not ready for it. You see, so I have no problem with it. Oh, dear me! Please don't get outraged.
Please
don't
get outraged, please. We want outrage.
No.
Plenty of it.
No, not nowadays. YouTube doesn't like outrage. YouTube doesn't like nipples, for goodness sake. So no, please don't do that. So we have a little quiz, a little contest today, don't we?
Like a quiz. Yes. What is it today, Mr. Duncan?
This is something that I'm going to call this contest, this little competition that I'm going to run with me and Mr. Steve. Guess the facial expression.
Okay.
I bet you're blown away by that, aren't you?
Blown away. Yes. Guess the I can't pronounce any words today. Guess the facial expression.
Steve's having trouble saying facial.
I'm too excited, that's why.
I think so, yes. I don't know why that word would create so much excitement, but there you go. So, in front of you, Mr. Steve, you should have some pieces of paper.
Yes.
Pick the pieces of paper up. Don't mix them or anything, just pick them up.
Shall I shuffle them up?
And now hold the first one. Hold them up in front of the camera.
When you say the first... Oh,
Just
right,
hold it
got
up.
you. Yes.
Hold it straight up. Okay.
Like that?
So as you can see, what I've given to Mr. Steve, I've given Mr. Steve some pieces of paper with facial expressions. Now what you have to do is guess what the facial expression is. This seemed like such a good idea earlier. I'm now wondering whether it is a good idea.
Has it gone wrong already, Mr. Duncan?
It hasn't gone wrong. No, I'm just not sure if it's very exciting. I'm panicking slightly. So here we go. So hold the first one up. So turn it over now and show me number one and hold it up.
Number one, facial expression.
So there it is, Mr. Duncan. Mr. Steve, rather.
Yes.
No, there's Mr. Duncan. There's two Mr. Duncans now. That's what's confusing me. I'm not used to seeing two of myself. So here is the first one. So you have to guess the facial expression. Do you know what this expression is? This facial expression.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant... Right, I've got to guess. Can everybody else see this as well, by the way?
Yes, they can.
Oh, good. So I didn't really need to hold it up at the camera. Never mind. I think you look unhappy.
Unhappy.
Glum. Unhappy.
Now,
Maybe not enough people watching on YouTube.
But
Maybe that's it.
don't you think also that maybe there is another way of describing this expression on my face? Think about it.
Unhappy.
Maybe there is no expression.
Glum.
Maybe there is no expression.
Expressionless. Expressionless.
Or if someone has no expression on their face, how can you describe it? You can say they have a...
You're sort of staring. You sort of look like you're sort of staring.
We might need to extend the length of this live stream to about
Okay,
five hours.
You want me to be quicker? I think you look unhappy. You're obviously trying to say that you've got no expression. You're expressionless or impassive, maybe.
Yes, there is a simpler word.
Go on, tell us, Mr. Duncan. You're the famous English teacher. He's got a thesaurus in his head.
That's not the only thing that's feeling a little thesaurus at the moment. That's why I've got the ointment. So the word I'm looking for is blank.
Oh, blank.
A blank expression.
Blank expression.
So if someone has no expression on their face, if they have no emotion, so the expression on my face is actually emotionless. There is no emotion. I am just staring blankly.
Well, that's a bit of a tease, Mr. Duncan. You said we've got to guess the expression, and the first one is no expression. I don't think that's very exciting. You could have at least given us an expression to start off with.
Okay,
It'd
Mr.
been
Steve.
slightly more exciting than no expression.
Yes, I'm enjoying this monologue, but
Your mouth turned down. I think you're a bit unhappy. Anyway, we'll go with that. If that's what you say it is, we will say it's a blank expression.
Yes, a blank expression, a blank look. There it is. Okay, number two.
Number two.
Please show us number two.
Do I have to show it? I'm confused here. Are you showing it as well on your screen?
I will be, yes. Don't worry
Okay.
about the technical side of
There
it.
we go.
There's number two. Oh, I like number two. Here we go. Here is number two. So there is facial expression number two.
Number
but
two.
what is it? How would you describe that face?
Annoyed.
Annoyed. Okay, then that's quite a good one.
I think you look annoyed.
You think I'm annoyed?
That's something that could be a permanent expression if this particular segment doesn't go according to the plans that you wish for it.
Okay, I'm going to give you a clue. I'll give you a clue.
Quizzical? Quizzical. I'm going with quizzical.
I'm going to give you a clue. The clue is in me saying I'm going to give you a clue, which is...
Oh, it's hot in here. It's very hot.
It's Christmas time and someone gives you a present. Maybe it is your loved one, or maybe it is your partner or a family member. And maybe they give you something, but it isn't the present that you thought you were going to get. So how would you feel if that happened?
Annoyed.
Is the answer... Are all your answers going to be annoyed? Are you just going to say annoyed to everything? So think carefully. How would you feel? You would feel...
Anybody else got it yet? Yeah, any answers? Are the answers flooding in?
They are flooding in, yes. But
disappointed. Disappointed.
You're saying disappointed. Yes, Olga is also saying disappointed.
Ah.
Eleanor says disappointed. But I have let down.
Let down?
You are let down. You are disappointed. You are let down.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
So it's basically the same thing.
Disappointed, let down.
If you are let down, you are disappointed. You feel disappointed. You feel let down.
Let down. Okay, fine. Yes, good one. Good one.
Are we getting the hang of this game?
How long have we got?
I think we might have to stay on until midnight.
I must admit, I'm quite impressed with with the amount of time you've spent doing this. It's very impressive.
I
Mr.
spent
Duncan.
3 days preparing this segment, by the way. 3 days it took me to pull all of those faces, to make those expressions. Because normally, I can't do it. I should have got you to do it, Mr. Steve, because he's the actor, not me. He's an actor. I'm not an actor. So, here we go.
Sort of.
The next one, Mr. Steve. Hold up the next one. Number 3.
There we go.
Oh, I think that's easy. So there is the third one. The third facial expression. There it is. So how would you describe that?
I would say horror
Horror.
or frightened.
Frightened.
Something
or,
or shock. Something has suddenly shocked you, like me coming into the room. Something like that.
yeah. Actually, what's strange, what's actually interesting about this, you will notice that actually some of the facial expressions can have many different meanings. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because there are many ways sometimes of describing an expression on someone's face. So can you show that one to the audience again?
This is the expression Mr. Duncan would put on if suddenly on his screen there were 10,000 people watching him.
Well, yes, that might be it.
we
Yes,
go.
okay. The answer,
Disbelief.
The answer is fear.
Oh, fear.
Fear. I'm actually afraid.
Oh,
What I'm showing there is fear. I am fearful. I am afraid. Something is scaring me. So
Scared.
that expression is actually fear.
fear. Shall I write them on there as we go along?
No.
Okay.
I don't think we will ever be using those again. I have a feeling. So, here is the next one.
Number 4. I'm looking at it, but already I'm not proving to be very good at this.
I think, and I'll give you a clue. It's not pervert on the bus.
Look, if I do that, it looks like I've turned into you.
Dear
My
me.
head is on. You like that,
I like that. Yes, that's very interesting.
Mr. Steve?
It looks like there's 2 of me.
Mr. Duncan.
Yes. Okay.
I just saw that. I don't know. Right. Okay. So what's that expression?
Okay. So the next expression is.
Stupid.
That's the next. Stupid.
No. You're sort of going. That's a very subtle one. Subtle. This is quite difficult.
It's not
More
easy, is
difficult
it?
than I thought it would
Well,
be.
there's no point doing it if it's easy. I mean, it would be pointless. So there is.
Oh, I know. I think bored. Bored.
You think it's bored?
I think you look bored. It's a bored expression.
Really? You think that's a bored expression?
Yes.
It's not bored. I will tell you what it is. This is now sometimes when you pull a face or you make an expression, sometimes it can be something that you are maybe enjoying while it's happening, but in a kind of self-satisfied way.
Okay, so something pleasurable has happened, and you're sort of stifling the joy.
That's it.
Slightly.
So it's joy, but I'm trying not to show it. So what would you say? What would that expression be?
I don't know, Mr. Duncan. You'll have to tell me.
I will
Has
tell
anybody
you.
else got it?
No, quite a few people are saying laid back, polite smile, or satisfied. I think satisfied is quite good actually.
Ah, satisfied.
but
yes.
it isn't that.
Self-satisfied.
Yes, but something else, something near. You're very near. Okay, the answer is smirk.
Oh,
You
smug.
you have a smirk on your face, so you are kind of satisfied. Maybe your friend has told you that their relationship has just broken up, and you are kind of pleased.
You horrible person, Mr. Duncan.
Inside, you are pleased. So you kind of smirk. You are trying to hide your happiness. So instead, you smirk. So there it is. You're not happy. You are actually trying not to smile. So it's a little smirk.
Yes.
Someone might say, Mr. Duncan, you can wipe that smirk off your face. Stop smirking.
A little sort of, yes.
Tiago says that is the expression that you have after letting out a very big fart. Thank you, Tiago, for that.
Yes, right.
Can you show us the next expression, please, Mr. Duncan? Mr. Steve.
I'm Mr. Steve. You're Mr. Duncan.
I keep addressing myself in the first person or in the second person. I don't know what's going on here.
Right, here we go. Number 5. There we go. I'll try and place that again so that it looks like I've turned into you.
Yes.
There we go.
The only worse thing than that, there's only one thing worse than that, and that's me turning into you. So
I'm sure you'd love that.
The next facial expression is...
Yes, you're sort of, yes. You're thinking about something.
Okay.
You're thinking about something, so it must be excruciating for people watching. I mean, literally thinking aloud. Yes. Puzzled. No, you're not puzzled. You're sort of in thinking mode.
In thinking mode.
That's not the phrase for a facial expression. You're
okay.
Yes.
Juan Bello says thoughtful.
Thoughtful.
Jung Kim says curious.
Yes.
Eleanor says contemplating. I like that one. Contemplating. I like that one very much.
Yes.
Eliana says confused. Confused. Also, Paolo says confused. Fam View says confused. Olga says hesitating. I'm not sure if it's hesitating. Hesitating.
Pensive. Thinking. I think you're sort of, maybe. I think it's that sort of an expression.
The answer is, here it comes, consider. Or
consider?
You consider something. So there I am. You can see that I am considering. So you consider.
I wonder. Yes,
consider.
Maybe.
You are thinking about something, whether or not to do it. You are thinking about the meaning of something. Consider.
A considered expression.
Okay.
These aren't just simple ones. They're very subtle, some of them. Yes.
Okay. Can you show us the next one, Mr.
Number
Steve?
6.
The next one, number 6.
Number 6. There we go. Right. Let's position that again.
There it is. That is facial expression number 6. And as you can see, I have... because I don't have any lines on my forehead, I don't have many, I've actually drawn them on. So there is my next one.
Is it worried? Are you worried? Oh, it's all going to go wrong. Oh, nobody's watching me. Oh,
My Super Puppernick, I love your name, by the way. My Super Puppernick says angry. Yes, it might be angry.
Yes.
But I think it's something else. Oh.
I think you're worried. Concerned.
Always Jared says, yes, well done. Yes, someone has got it right. Yes, so come on, Mr. Steve. The pressure is on now.
Pressure's on.
The pressure is on. Come on.
Yes. I'm going to have that same expression if I don't get it right. Am I on the right? Ooh, no, what is it? I think you're worried, concerned. Just tell us.
Shall I just tell you what they all are? We could save a lot of time.
By the way, he has got lots of lines. That's why he wears that hat all the time, to cover up all his wrinkles and lines.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
The word I'm looking for is frown.
Oh, frown.
Frown. So when you look at something and you're not sure what it is, or maybe you are a little bit worried or concerned about something, you will frown.
So lots of people watching your show now are thinking, what is this? What is it? What is it?
They are thinking, what am I watching at the moment?
Any new people? That's it. They're probably, yes, they might all have that expression right now.
So there it was. We are having another one. Don't worry. Don't go away. There are lots more facial expressions still to come.
There's loads here. Have we got time for all these?
Here's another one. Here's another one for.
Are we doing another one now?
Yeah, another one.
Number 7.
Hold it up.
Number 7. There we go.
I look a little bit like Mr. Bean there. Do you think I look like Mr. Bean? I think so.
Mr. Bean.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Mr. Bean.
It's a bit like-
Oh, Bean. Hello.
So what is the facial expression?
It looks
There it is.
similar to number 4. I think it's smug. I think it's smug.
You think it's
Yes.
smug?
Are you thinking I'm just great?
I see. Yes, it does look a little bit like that.
It does.
Smug. You think smug?
That's how you walk around all the time. That's how he walks around all the time when he's not on the show.
So you are saying that is my normal facial expression. Thanks a lot.
I'm just great.
Well, I won't argue with that. So here it is. Here is the answer to this one. I think this one is a little easy. Mr. Steve, you are not going to believe it, but you are right. It is smug.
One right.
Smug.
Smug.
A person who is very smug. They are very proud. They are almost too proud. Smug. A person who is very smug. You might also say
Back's aching.
complacent. A person who is complacent.
Overconfident.
Oversatisfied, overconfident. They look very smug. They are very pleased with themselves.
Pleased with themselves, and everybody else is just hoping that they will trip up somewhere. Not literally, but trip up perhaps and just make themselves look stupid and come back down to earth.
That's it. So there it was. Smug. Okay, the next one, Mr. Steve.
Ready for this?
I am.
I know you are, but I meant everybody else.
Now, this is my normal facial expression. This is how I look normally.
This is the expression you always have when you look at your YouTube stats.
When I realise that YouTube, once again, is hiding me from the rest of the internet because of the algorithms, that is the expression on my face. That is what I look like after every single live stream, and I realise that YouTube, once again, is not notifying my subscribers about my live lessons. That's exactly what I look like.
You're off again, Mr. Duncan. YouTube bashing again.
I'm not YouTube bashing. YouTube is bashing me.
That may be so.
I'm not bashing. I love YouTube. I've been here for nearly 11 years, but YouTube doesn't like me. I don't know why, because I'm so lovely. How could you hate this? How could you dislike this?
Anyway, it's angry. I'm going with angry.
You're going with angry, are you?
I'm going with...
Is this an angry expression? The look on my face. Is it anger? I don't know. Claudio says angry. Den Tran says stressful.
Yes, stressed. Actually, that's how I look.
Najuan Duck says ridiculous. Well, yes, I suppose I do look a little bit ridiculous.
All of them. You
All
could
of them.
say.
Thank you, Mr. Steve.
Look ridiculous. We're having fun today.
Why is everyone picking on me today? Why?
Because you're an easy target, Mr. Duncan, that's why.
It's not fair. Furious, says Eliana.
Furious, yes, angry, furious.
Angry.
Stressed, I like stressed.
Furious. I like, yes, okay, let's see what it is. The expression is anger. Yes, I am getting angry. So that expression on my face is anger. you can see that I'm getting very angry. I don't know why my face isn't red. It should be really, because sometimes when you get angry, your face will go red as well. Here is another expression. Oh, wait there a second.
Yeah.
Here is another expression. Look at the next one, Mr. Steve.
Yes. This is the next one. It looks very like the one before.
Very similar, but this is something different. This is a similar face, but a very different situation. Can you guess what's happening there?
It's well, you're obviously angry, upset. I'm going with stressed. Stressed.
Stressed again.
Stressed again, angry, constipated. Constipated. I think that's what you are there.
You think it's constipated?
You're on the toilet straining. You haven't been to the loo for about 4 days, and you're constipated, and you're trying to have a dump. Let's put it that way.
So you think I'm sitting on the toilet trying to push out a big poop?
Exactly.
You think I'm pushing out a big poop?
Yes.
Mr. Steve, you are absolutely correct.
Really? I was joking.
It is constipated. That is.
Oh.
My angry look is very similar to my constipated look. So
I obviously know you too well.
Yes, almost too well. I think so. So yes, I think that was a bit easy. I think that was easy. Let's have a harder one, shall we? Let's have a hard one. It looks like I'm having a hard one.
You don't want a hard one. You'll be constipated again.
Okay. Here's the next one, Mr. Steve. Can you show us the next one? The next one. Okay then.
The next one, number 10. Looks like a pop singer from the 80s. I can't remember his name. He used to do that expression when he was on stage. Billy Idol. Anybody
Really?
remember Billy Idol? I very much doubt it. But Billy Idol used to do that facial expression.
Can you show us again?
All the time. I thought you were showing them. Do I have to show them? Right.
So how do I look there? What do you think, everyone?
You look...
Fernando says bored.
Yes, bored.
Jessica also says bored.
Bored. Pissed off. Can I use that phrase?
No, you can't. You
Okay.
can't swear. There's no swearing allowed on my show unless it's absolutely necessary. And I'm not sure that was necessary.
That wasn't really a swear word. Everybody says that these days.
In American English, people say annoyed. If you are annoyed, they say that you are pissed at something. You are annoyed. So in American English, it isn't swearing.
Exactly.
So
I wasn't swearing.
So there. But don't say it again, please. Don't say it again, because look what happened to me. YouTube, they've censored my nipples.
What'll happen is that if I keep swearing, you'll do that expression. There we
Yes.
go.
I would look like that. I will go to the toilet and have constipation.
Sorry, that was the constipated one. There's the angry one.
Can you show them both for a comparison? Can you just show both pictures?
There we go.
No, put them underneath. Put them on top of each other. That's it. So one of them is angry, and the other one is constipated. Okay, but they look very similar. Very similar.
Yes, I can't see the difference personally.
And now the latest one. Show the latest one.
The latest one is that.
So how do I look? A lot of people are saying bored or gone bananas. Someone says. I don't think I look like that when I go bananas.
Ooh,
I'm not quite sure about that. But
Frustrated maybe.
The answer is bored. Bored, yes. So bored. Something is happening and it's not very interesting. I think all of my viewers at the moment are looking like this.
Possibly.
Quite possibly. Dear. The next one, please, Mr. Steve.
Number 11. I think people need a break.
Do they?
Do you know, my legs are aching, my calves, every time, because I stand up the entire time for this whole hour. My calves are really... And it takes about 4 days for it to go away.
Because Mr. Steve wants to take a rest, we are now going to take a look at a flash word. Because last night we were outside under the harvest moon and we were looking up, wondering to ourselves, what is the meaning? What is the meaning?
Medicinal. Medicinal is an English adjective and a noun. The word medicinal as an adjective relates to something that is seen as being therapeutic or curing. An item that can be used to treat an illness is medicinal. For example, these herbs are often used for medicinal purposes. These illegal drugs are often used to provide medicinal relief. We often describe things that can help to alleviate pain or illness as medicinal. As a noun, medicinal relates to drugs or medicine. You use something as a medicinal. Medicinal is beneficial, curative, healing, remedial, therapeutic. Medicinal.
Here we are again. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's Mr. Steve and also me, Mr. Duncan, on YouTube Live. We are going very soon. Today's live stream has gone by very quickly, don't you think? Do you think it's gone fast? I think it's gone very quickly.
It has, I agree.
By the way, for those who missed last week's live stream, would you like to see last week's live stream?
Very quickly.
In 25 seconds, we can watch the whole of last week's live stream. Here it comes. There it was, last week's live stream. And of course you can catch all of the live streams. They are all saved on my YouTube channel. So don't worry, if you've missed any part of this today, you can watch it all over again, because I know that's what you want to do. I really do. Why don't you give a chair to Mr. Steve?
Yes,
asks
yes.
Maria. Thank you, Maria. Maybe next week I will give Mr. Steve something to sit on. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I might find something for Mr. Steve to sit on.
Like a spike. I bet it'll be a spike.
Of course, I would never be so mean to you. Never be that mean. Shall we have one more? So I'm going to let Mr. Steve now choose
One more.
the final expression before we go.
Final expression.
So you choose one,
Right.
and I'm hoping that I find the right one on my big
Right,
list.
Quite a few here. One more. Okay. Let's. Right. There are some funny ones here, but I'm going to go with this one because.
Don't say anything, because you're going to give it. If you describe the expression, you're going to give it away. So just say, here it is.
I know. I think it's got to be this one. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for this expression.
Oh my! Do you like that facial expression, Mr. Steve?
Yes, that made me laugh. I thought, let's end on a happy note.
Can you show us again? I have to find it now. Let me just find it. Let me
It's
just see
number
if I can find
12.
it. I'm not even sure if I can find it. I've got so many here. Wait there. Oh, I think I found it.
No, it's 15. I couldn't read properly.
Is it 15?
It's
Here it
15.
is. There it is. I found it. So there I am. But how do I look? What is that expression on my face besides
Demented, mad,
demented, mad,
glum,
glum?
glum.
Maybe glum. Yes, that's an interesting word. That's an interesting word to use. Glum. Khan Najuan has made a guess.
Go on.
Jung Kim says unpleasant.
It's definitely unpleasant. You wouldn't want to look at that for long.
Sammy says I look like a dead frog. Yes, there is a slight resemblance between that photograph and a dead frog that has just been run over by a car. That's very nice. Thank you very much for that. So, Eugene says I am actually crying at the moment. Is that crying with happiness or crying with despair? I'm not sure. There are two types of tears there, you see. You could have oh, I wish this would stop. Or I'm laughing so much I'm crying.
I think you need to recreate this to prove to everybody that you actually can pull your face down as far as that. I think we need a live representation of that right now, Mr. Duncan.
Do you like my harvest moon? Look at that. Look at that. Special effects there. Look at those special effects. There is the harvest moon shining in the sky. Isn't that amazing?
I can't see it from here, but there you go.
It cost me a lot of money. A lot of money. Almost £2.50 to do that. £2.50.
Do you want me to try and recreate this expression?
All I'm trying to do is distract you away from the facial expression.
Yes,
So
he's hoping it'll get to 4 o'clock and he'll suddenly have to say, oh, it's too late, we've got to go now, see you next week. We're not going to let him get away with it, are we?
as if I do that.
He's got
as
to
if,
recreate it live for us now.
as if I would do that.
And what is the expression? Tell us first.
Okay, then the expression that we were looking for, the word, someone said mad, someone said gloomy
Yes.
or glum.
I said that. Me. That was me.
You can also have sad. So that is the answer. It's almost an anticlimax, really,
Sad.
isn't it?
Yes,
I feel-
sad.
Even I feel disappointed
I
by
think
that.
that's sad. It's more like suicidal, I would say.
Okay then. Well, as long as you're saying it and no one else.
But let's end on a
What?
happy note.
Let's show it again.
That
Let's
has
end
got
on a
to be.
completely stoned. What is that expression? That's number 12, is it?
That must be happy. That must
Happy?
be happy.
I think it's something else actually. Let me just find that one because that's even I want to see that one again. Where is it?
Number 12
Number 12.
or
Yes, I look relieved. You know sometimes when you want to wee and you can't wait to have a wee but you can't go anywhere, and then whilst having the wee that is the expression on your face. It's almost like relief.
can you talk about nothing else, Mr. Duncan? Wee pooing. Every week there's some reference to it, and this time this hour I would say about 10% of it's been taken up with that.
You missed
Never
out.
mind.
You missed out. Sicky sick.
That's a good one as well. That's happy.
So the expression here is joy.
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 And one more time, we've got to have this one again.
Oh God. That does actually look like me standing there now. You've got the picture in the right position. Oh my God. What,
I don't know if I can.
Are you okay there? Should I call an ambulance?
Right.
That
Before
is it. We have just spent the last 45 minutes sitting in front of a live camera pulling faces.
Yes.
That is it. That is the height of everything that you're going to see ever on YouTube. It's never going to get any better than that.
Where else could you get entertainment like this?
Where indeed?
Tell me.
Actually, I've got a list here. We never did find out where this came from, this piece of our house. We never found out. This is a part of the house that I kept safe, but I have no idea where it belongs.
I haven't seen that, Mr. Duncan.
Do you know where it belongs? Shall I? I'm gonna throw this to Mr. Steve, and I'm gonna see if Mr. Steve knows which part of the house this comes from.
He's
Wait there a
destroying
moment.
the house.
Ready?
Oh!
That was quite a good throw. I was very impressed by my throw there. Although I do throw like a girl. Did you see that? Did you see my throw? It was like,
It's hard black plastic. I'm going with guttering. Guttering.
It's
a piece of guttering.
Guttering.
Which probably means we've got water everywhere at the moment, all down the side of the house.
What do you use guttering for?
Guttering takes water off your roof and transports it away from the house into the drain.
So it allows the water to flow from the roof.
From the roof.
And then safely away.
Safely away so that it doesn't damage the structure of the house.
It is made of plastic, by the way.
Yes.
So I think
guttering.
I think you're right, Mr. Steve. I think that is. It's coming back. Everything's coming back. I'm remembering. It is. It's from the outside of the house. It's from the guttering on the house. We have solved the problem. We have solved the problem. We are not going to give away the answers to the mystery idioms. We are going to do that next week. Please watch next week. We are going in a moment.
Are you going to go and put this back later?
Well, maybe you can do it.
Yes, I could do.
I think you're very good at the DIY.
I've just been out there doing some DIY before I came onto this show.
Shall we have a look at one last flash word from Mr. Steve? This is a flash word from Mr. Steve. Would you like to see it?
In the dark? Are we in the dark again?
We are once again in the dark.
Moonlight. Moonlight. The word moonlight can be used in more than one way. For example, it can be used as a verb. To have a second job, which is normally done in secret when other people are not around, can be referred to as moonlighting. That is to say, to moonlight is to do something for which you are paid in secret. A person will moonlight to make some extra money. Quite often this activity will take place at night, hence the term moonlight. He was caught moonlighting as a security guard at a factory. To do some work on the side is to moonlight. Moonlight.
There he was. Mr. Steve was outside last night. We were filming in the dark. I think that must be the first time that we've ever filmed outside in the dark. I've never done it in all of the 11 years that I've been on YouTube. I've never ever filmed outside in the dark. So that's a very historic moment there that you saw.
Well, we came back from the party and you suddenly realised, you suddenly said, Mr. Steve, we haven't done the flash words or flash phrases.
That's right.
We'll have to do it outside in the dark because, of course, it's getting darker earlier now here in the UK. So we had to do it in the pitch dark.
But you know what they say? Sometimes doing things in the dark is more fun, apparently. So I hope you enjoyed today's flash phrase and also 2 flash words from Mr. Steve out underneath the harvest moon. Shall we have a look at the harvest moon once again? Because I put so much work into this.
Oh,
so much effort.
I think they'd prefer to see your glum expression one more time.
There is the harvest moon, everyone. Look at that. It's like a Steven Spielberg special effect.
Or that. What's funnier?
This is better. The moon is better. In fact, I'm not sure which one is the moon now. Which is the moon?
Oh, yes.
Because sometimes I do say to Mr. Steve that his face looks a little bit like the moon. That's why I said that, you see.
The man in the moon.
We are going now. It is coming up to 2 minutes. 2 minutes after 4 o'clock.
Are you throwing me out of your studio?
Well, I'm throwing myself off YouTube. It's time to say goodbye. I can't believe that today has gone by so quickly. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be back next week. We have lots of things. We don't have time for the questions today. I was going to ask which famous person would you like to meet, but we will do that next week. So that is a question for you next week. Also next week, I will show you the mystery idioms again. There they are. We will reveal the answers after next week's live stream. It's almost like a cliffhanger at the end of a TV show. What will happen next? You will have to tune in next week to find out.
Oh, it's so exciting.
It's so exciting. Oh,
Shall I go first?
are you still here, Mr. Steve?
I'm still here. You didn't give me the cue to go. I'm still here.
I thought you had already disappeared, you see.
Well, I shall go now. I shall say bye-bye to everyone.
See
It's
Mr.
been
Steve
great
next
fun
week.
today, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. But of course, I've got to take something with me. I've got to steal something from Mr. Duncan's studio, and I like the look of that owl. So, Owlie, you're coming with me. Bye.
And there was Mr. Steve. He has gone. And I will go as well because it's time to say goodbye. Thank you very much for your company. Thank you, Mika, for your lovely message. See you both next week. Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve. That's us, that is. Ooh, that's nice. Kim Hee Jung says bye. Olga, see you next week, Olga. I hope you will join me again. Shira Blade, thank you very much for another free live stream. Yes, everything you watch here is free. It costs you nothing. Of course, you are welcome to make a small donation to allow this to continue on my Patreon page, or of course you can make a live donation directly now using PayPal. Yes, you can now directly send some cash to PayPal direct. Oh, wow, that's incredible. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Tias. Thank you, David. Thank you very much for your company. Mr. Steve is now going to take a rest, and as you now know, Mr. Steve likes to recline on the sofa at the end of every live stream. I will see you next week. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching me talking to you live, and of course thanks to Mr. Steve.
Have a lovely week, everyone, and I'll see you next week, Mr. Duncan.
I will see you next week, Mr. Steve.
What can I take with me? I've got to take something with me. Yes. This looks expensive.
Oh, it is.
I'm going to take this with me. It's mine. Bye.
Bye, Mr. Steve.
Oh, what a busy hour. Oh, nowhere to sit. Oh, so tired. Oh.
It's time to relax yourself, Mr. Steve. Just lie back and relieve your stress and strain, Mr. Steve. You've had a busy day, so to ease those aches away, relax and take a rest, Mr. Steve. It's time to have a dream, Mr. Steve. After such a busy live stream, so lie back and recline. Everything will be just fine, because you've had a busy day, Mr. Steve. Yes, you've had a busy day. Now it's time to float away. Yes, you've had a busy day, Mr. Steve. Sweet dreams, Mr. Steve.